Welcome friends. In this section, I'm going to show you how to configure PRTG and SolarWinds to monitor different resources that you have on your network. Now, don't forget we've just complete the installation of SNMP and the configuration, and we got our community string to be public. So the next thing I'm going to do will be to show you how this is done. PRTG and SolarWinds are they are network monitoring tool which can easily be installed on your Windows 10 professional machine without needing any dependency. Though at some time you may need to be online for you to pick the resources that you need. So it's fairly straightforward. From the point that you click on the download the installation button and you click on it, it goes on, follow the instruction until it gets to the end. So how do you now configure it to monitor the resources that you have on your network? So let's do that. Before you start, because of the fact that I'm installing SolarWinds and PRTG on the same machine, sometimes it may not start automatically as a system boot. So what you need to do is to check services, check on services to ensure that these systems, the services that are responsible in making PRTG and SolarWinds work effectively are started. If not so, then you have to start them manually. So I'm at the services environment. Then here I have the two PRTG services which are already running here. The PRTG probe service is very important because if this is down, then you will not be able to have access to your sensors being activated. The same thing with SolarWinds. You can see these are the services that are responsible for SolarWinds. They are all started. So I just needed to confirm that. Then the next thing I need to do is to bring on my PRTG environment. So I'll configure them one after the other. So I click on PRTG Network Monitor. Let's wait for it to boot. It's a web application, so it will load through our primary browser. So this is how the interface looks like. So because I don't want this browser, I'm just going to copy this from here. Then I'll open to my Internet Explorer. You can see my SolarWinds is already up there. But I won't configure that yet. So I'll just create another tab and paste the same path that opens to the PRTG. So I'll press enter. So this is how the PRTG environment appears. This is how the SolarWinds environment appears. I'm going to take them one after the other. So I'll click on PRTG. The default logon name and password are shown there. I'll click login. So when it opens, you can see the initial information introducing you, welcoming you. So this section shows the different icons and their meaning. When it's down, that's how it's going to look like with the red color. When it's connected, when it's up and connected, you can see the mark sign there. Then you can see the down, the warning, and the user. So it's important that you master all these icons and their meaning, so that when you're working on a system, when you're viewing your system, you'll be able to associate this with the activities on your system. So I'll move straight to devices. So when you open to your devices, what the PRTG does is that it will automatically send signals around all the devices you have in the network, whether it's your Cisco router, whether it's a Cisco switch, your wireless devices, and even your Linux server, Windows machine. It probes the entire machine and it will come up with default sensors that you can use to understand or study or see the state of the devices that you have. That's basically what it does. So system is checking around my network, and at the end of the day it will report and tell me what is going on. So you can see the local probe, which it's trying to find information about my local system, the Windows machine that the system is running on. Then you can see it has already found something about the internet. It's telling me I am connected to the internet. Then I can tell it to probe more, to bring in more resources. Then you can see something here. It's already telling me something about my Linux server, that there are a total of 33 sensors, which also is already configured here for monitoring. So what I'm going to do is to show you how this was done. So I'm going to delete this under Linux. I'm going to delete this squid server completely, so that we go through the process of configuring sensors to monitor this device from scratch. So I'll delete this. Then you can see from here that there's no device under Linux server, and I have to add that. But before I do that, I would love to know the name of my CentOS machine. So I'll just type 10.0.0.1 and type root. I know what the password is. I know what the IP address is 10.0.0.1. So I just want to find out the name of the host name of the server. So I'll show you how to do that when we are allowed to log in. So here I will type vi/, I can even see the name from there, etc/hostname, but I just want to show you where it is in case you want to change the name of your Linux server. So mine is db.ncwd.local. So that's the name of my Linux machine. So I've seen that, so I'll minimize this. So now to add a new device, in this case I have one Centos machine that is administering and controlling the entire network here. So I'm going to click on add device. So adding device, the system is asking me what is the device name. So the device name is db.ncwd.local. That's what my device name is. What is my IP address? 10.0.0.1. Now the sensors, how will they appear? I choose the default one. Then you have to specify how you what technology will you use to monitor the resources that you have. I'm going to use SMTP, Simple Network Management Protocol. I'll click here to configure it. So it has expanded. We're using SNMP version 2, and our community name is stream, and our port number is this. So that setting is correct. So the next thing I will do will be to click OK. So three things I've done. I have specified the name of my server, the IP address, and I have configured my SNMP with a community string of public. So I could just do auto run here. If I do auto run, what the system does is it will connect to the server, to the Linux machine. I'm working from the Windows machine here. It will connect to the Linux machine, and it will bring out different quantities it can measure, and it will list them all here. Things like ping test the availability of a Linux machine, so that if you are not physically there, you can monitor to know if your system is still available, or if it's down, the system will tell you that. You can also monitor things on your hard disk space, your RAM usage, your bandwidth. So many things can be done with this software. If you don't have the original license for your PRTG, by default the company gives you 100 sensors which you can use to monitor your devices. 100 beautiful sensors you can use to monitor your entire network, and this is given to you for life. It doesn't expire. So while this is building up, we just have to wait. So as we're building up, you'll see that the sensors that will be responsible in monitoring things on our Linux machine will be listed here as we're getting on. So we're still at 0% here. This will build up to 100%. So we'll give it a little time. Then we will now specifically manually add our sensors. So you can see this is how you keep building up until it gets to 100%. Now uptime, maximum the amount of time the system has been up. The availability of the system is indicated by ping. So I can add my sensors. While this is going on, I just want to quickly add a sensor. So I'll click on add sensor, and it is not all the sensors that will come out automatically. Sensors that uses SNMP technology will have to be manually defined, because you need to specifically define the community string in order to be able to use SNMP technology. So I'm going to show you that here, and you will see how it's done. So I'm waiting for it to open up. So I'm going to manually add a sensor. So I'll click on add sensor. Wait for a while. This opens up. So you can see now you are asked a question here. What do you want to monitor? Is it availability / uptime? Is it bandwidth speed? Is it CPU usage? Is it disk usage, memory usage, hardware parameters, network infrastructure, custom sensors? Now, what's the target? Is it a Windows machine or a Linux machine or a virtualization operating system? And what technology do you want to use? Now, because of the fact that our main emphasis is really on the bandwidth monitoring and traffic, so I'm going to pick this. I'll pick this. The system is asking me which device, which target do you want to choose? I pick Linux operating system. Then what technology do you want to use? I use SNMP. SNMP is a lot easier and simpler to use to monitor, to get information from devices around your network, because it does not cause unnecessary load compared to WMI, Windows Management Interface. So immediately you click on SNMP. The sensor that is responsible in managing your bandwidth is SNMP traffic. So this is what you have there. So immediately you click on this, its system will load. Now, for this to work, this will not work if we did not specifically configure public as our community string, and we did not configure it on the server. So the community string has to be the same on both sides for this to work. So the system is telling us, well, you have a lot of things to monitor under network traffic. Do you want to choose what you have to be specific. Select all connected interfaces or select all disconnected interfaces. So I'll say, okay, all connected interfaces on this network are the interfaces I want to measure and monitor. Then we can take that for now as a default setting. Then we click on create. System has created that sensor, and it will be listed among the items to monitor. It's important to know that there are so many things you can do with SNMP. There are so many sensors to monitor, but it's always advisable that you keep it simple. Depending on what you want to really look at, most network, the key features, the key monitoring tools or sensors that are always required generally are ping. Pinging helps you to check for availability, uptime, how long has the system been on and off. Then, of course, things about your interfaces, your Ethernet interface, so this is the Ethernet 1. In this particular case, Ethernet 1 is my WAN interface, so it's telling you the amount of traffic that is being generated. And Ethernet 3 is my LAN interface, which you're seeing here. And of course, the loopback interface is shown there. So the system can also tell you something about the free hard disk spaces that you have. It's all shown here. The memory usage, just by adding that SNMP traffic, you can see all the things that has come out for us to monitor. Quite a lot. So you specifically identify the one you need and you stay with that. Things on your CPU load is also very important. What it's telling me at this stage is that only 2% of our CPU, the processor has been loaded for any activity. And you can see here that my total disk space is 95% free, which is beautiful. So it tells you what you really have and what you can do, and how to monitor the different resources that you have. So our PRTG is up. You can monitor our devices. You can add any other thing you want to do. Then the other part is, if you want to configure your setting, maybe change your account setting instead of using the default login. If you don't want to log in with PRTG, you can change that. And if you want to set your password, you can also set that. Then, of course, it's important to know that you have to type your email address so that notification and alert will be sent to you as you are working on. So if I return back to my devices, this is the kind of thing you'll see. You'll find that now for this particular server, even though the auto discovery is still going on, the system has already seen this one. It came from the auto discovery. It's checking things on my certificate. It's telling me, well, the certificate is there, but they are warning, and it's telling me what to do about the certificate, either to upgrade it or to get new ones. Then, of course, the SNMP, which I just added, adds a total of 25 sensors for me to use. You can see things on ping, actual processing, memory swap space, loopback interfaces, Ethernet port, Ethernet 1, which is my WAN interface, Ethernet 0, which is my LAN interface, CPU load. Wonderful things we can use to check how the system is performing. So when the system is down, of course, we expect that the ping will move from the active interface we're seeing here to the disconnected interface. So that's really something about what exploring when working with PRTG. So I'm going to save this, then I will now come back and configure the SolarWinds for you to see.